First video 2024. Hell yeah. Welcome back to the world of Centaura, the game will be bombarded by people constantly asking how to do basic ass things. With the Southern Frontier update out now, it's time for me to continue milking this game for content. Now let's start with a lore explanation to get that out of the way. We interrupt this YouTube video to bring a special broadcast as the war in the north continues to drag on, and with Antares intervening the side of our enemies. Help the Empire defend against this threat by hitting the subscribe button and liking this video. Every donation counts to the war effort for king and country. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hello internet, welcome!
We continue where we left off with Corvus and Cetus continuing to duke it out in southern Corvus. To the south, however, a new threat begins to emerge in the shadows before finally revealing itself. The Antares Imperium. For the one dude who's watching this who doesn't know what the f Antares is. Antares is a massive empire to the south of the continent ruled by the Tao dynasty. This dude named Calvin Tao, the emperor of Antares, was a staunch enthusiast of the ancient Libran Empire, this universe's version of the Romans. He thought that if the whole continent was under one country, like during the Libran Empire, there'd be no more war. And now we go back to, with an alliance forming between Corvus and Antares, the Imperium invaded southern Cetus in February 1912. Setting the scene for the first battle of this update, Mons Planus. Because Antares is like the fucking Mongol horde, they quickly overpowered the few Cetan defenders there and pushed deep into Cetus, beginning the end for the empire. By mid-1912, Cetus had completely collapsed, with Corvus taking back southern Corvus and Antares taking the rest of the empire. As some of you may know, Cetus has the largest navy in all the world, but they barely used it during the war. The most notable thing that they did was bombard Battery Q, and even then they killed their own men while doing it. In the naval infantry branch of the navy, the
Exercitus Maris.
did not like that they were just standing by while the rest of their country got manhandled by Corvus and Antares. So they mutinied and landed on the Whitemouth Estuary, forming this game's version of D-Day. As the rest of the Cetan navy steams away, the Marines make a desperate last stand of Cetus, landing in a chaotic fight against the unsuspecting Antarian defenders to retake a piece of their homeland. And this is where the new lore ends. If you want to hear more, join the Centaura Discord or go to the wiki. Both will be linked in the description. This is part 1 of the Southern Frontier update, so here are the first two maps we got, Mons Planus and Whitemouth Estuary. Mons Planus is an open field map similar to Capri Valley in the game mode that they both share, that being front lines. There are 4 points that either Antares or Cetus must capture in order to win. In between the B and C flags, there is a massive open field with no cover. It's just an open field with 4 buildings on either edge of the map, with some hay bales sprinkled in through the massive field. You get caught on the open, you are dead. Another thing, when both teams clash after capturing the C and B flags respectively, the armored cars come out. Yes, those annoying things from Battery Q, except this time there's 2 of them. These things are aimbot, and if you get caught on the open while they move across no man's land, your ass is dead. Oh, and also artillery is just as annoying as ever on this map. So now you may be asking, with all this, how does anyone expect to advance? Wouldn't it just be a massive statement like how Capri Valley is? And dear viewer, you'd be right. Except the devs saw this issue as in community testing, a match lasted 6 hours. Originally, the devs added a 40-minute timer mark and a sudden death mechanic where if any teams capture the next point, it's GG right there. But nah, fuck that shit, man. That's not metal enough. So the devs added the war party wagons that make the tractor sounds. These come around the 25-minute mark. I don't really know for sure. And when they spawn, both enemy teams collectively hears doom music playing over the battlefield as these things advance. Once you capture the B flag as Cetus or the C flag as Antares, you have to wait until the 35-minute mark before the tanks advance sooner. To take the tanks out, you need dynamite, which can be purchased in the in-game store for 350 points. Moving on to Whitemouth Estuary, this map is a naval landing.
U.S. Marines, sir, yes, sir, hoorah! Fire grenade, get down!
Sir, yes, sir, hoorah, hoorah! Battle buddy!
Battle buddy, over here, battle buddy!
You've been stabbed because you don't have a battle buddy!
Sir, yes, sir!
Mom told me to take out the dishes!
and it works a bit differently compared to other maps with a new game mode being added called Breakthrough. For those of you who know the games Battlefield 1 and 5, this game mode works the exact same way, just slightly different. The attackers start off with a certain amount of points and must capture both flags in the sector and hold them until they run out of points. Once that happens, the sector will be captured and they can move on to the next, and then continue the same process until all the sectors are captured and the battle is won. The defender's job is to hold both capture points until the timer runs out and before the attackers run out of points. Once the timer goes off and both flags are in the defender's hands, the battle ends in a defender victory. On Whitemouth, there are only 3 sectors. The first sector consisting of 2 points, a small Antarian camp and the other being Goldcrest Square, a small town. The second sector is 2 bridges, one being a road bridge and the other being a rail one. And the final sector consists of only 1 capture point, that being a bunker and the trenches that surround it. Once the third sector is captured by the attackers, they win and the map rotation starts again, sending players back to Blackton to do it all over again. Whitemouth is the only map of the making of this video to have the Breakthrough game mode. The Sea and Marines, with in my opinion the best uniforms in the game, are the attackers and Antares is the defenders. I honestly see the Marine landing similar to the Zeebrugge shock operation in Battlefield 1 with the gameplay features. Recently, however, the devs added working coastal guns on the beach destroyer, which will fire on the first and last sectors only, which I absolutely fucking hate. The gameplay on both maps is very different. Mons Planis' gameplay can be similar to Capri Valley with its long stretches of no man's land and close quarters nature of the trenches, while it also being different with the armored cars and tanks being present. Mons Planis, as discussed before, is a wide open map with little cover, and the only real way to push up without the armored cars or tanks is by using the flanking routes on the very edge of the map. Weymouth Estuary brings a whole new type of gameplay to the table, with it largely being mid to close range fighting until the final sector where it entirely becomes a point blank melee mortar fuckfest. On the second sector, combat largely is from mid to long range, with combat being very rigid on the B point with the train there making combat very narrow, good for assault players like myself. One thing you can do on Whitemouth is that you can go in the water of the Whitemouth River, yes that is the actual name, and being annoying for either the attackers or defenders, with you being hard to hit and being annoying as hell. Right, so I honestly really like this update. It brings a breath of fresh air into Centaura, with player numbers soaring, breaking through 1,000 concurrent players. One good thing that this brings is a bunch of new players who do not know what the fuck they are doing, so it makes a bunch of easy kills for me. The downside with that is a bunch of new players who do not know what the fuck they are doing, so you get a team full of them, yeah, you are not winning that match. I honestly enjoy Mons Planis and Weymouth Estuary a lot, but I do have to agree with the Discord server on what my favorite map of the game is. I honestly really like the world building the devs do with the game, with pieces of lore about both Centaura and Dead Ahead. As mentioned in my last Centaura video, both games are in the same universe and is honestly very well done. One thing I will definitely applaud the devs for is fixing the lag issues on the servers. While there will be some lag spike here and there, they did a very good job in fixing it and overall improving the server performance, while also increasing the player sizes from 64 to 70. While some people do not like how Mons Planis is set up, I honestly enjoy it as it gives more of an open battlefield, and introducing the armored cars in the battle was a definitely good touch on the devs part for allowing a little bit of combined arms warfare, and especially when the tickets come, we can get some combined arms blitzkrieg going on.
200 miles at nightfall, taken within a day, thus earning the name, earning the fame. They are the Palestine elite, born to compete, never retreat. Constellation, living or dead, always ahead, fed by your dread.
Or as the game chat seems to fill with people screaming in fear at the first sign of the tanks approaching. One thing I will say though about the armored cars, both on Mons Planis and Battery Q, they are annoying as fuck to deal with. I honestly wish that they could not have fucking aimbot, but I digress. Also, the tanks are crazily overpowered, and they can bring a team pushback all the way to their home base to push on and capture all 4 capture points. The tanks are definitely going to be nerfed, and in fact, they already have. Centaura is a solid World War I-esque game which takes the theme of it and spins it as its own, having its own world, themes, and story. As an active member of the Centaura Discord server, the devs are posting updates on content coming to the game while also adding new lore and continuing to expand the story of the game. Same thing as last time though, if you are sensitive to loud noises, lower your volume because your artillery is not forgiving in the volume department. With small little updates here and there along with bug fixes, Centaura remains my favorite war game on Roblox, and with part 1 of the Southern Frontier update out now, it is only a matter of time before part 2 comes out and we see our next nation fight against the never-ending Antarian horde, Aquila. I'm going to keep the same score as last time, a 9 out of 10, as yes, I do believe this is a solid game. The tanks are definitely a great touch and gives the community something they've been asking for a long time. My main critique is that the armored cars and tanks could not have f***ing aimbot, as well as the artillery being the most annoying thing in this game. Yes, I know it's accurate to how it was in our actual World War I with artillery causing the most casualties, but still. As a story we knew before being about the war between Corvus and Cetus, now we begin the shift to the real story of the game, that being the Antarian conquest of all of Centaur, setting the scene for the next game dead ahead. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll have the game, Discord server, and wiki linked down below. Before I go, I'd like to thank you all for the support you've given me at the moment. Like, holy shit, y'all really liked the Southern Frontier video. Also, thank you all for your comments, like on my Feed the Machines video. Thank you all. If you think I'm milking Centaur for content, you are 100% right, and I feel no shame in doing so. Like, subscribe, and comment, or I'll send you to fight tanks. Also, it took so long to make this video that Centaur knows a loading screen now, like dead ahead. Subscribe.